When we see design, we assume that it was created by a designer. Somebody did it. You're walking on the beach, you see footprints in the sand, you don't stop to think, how amazing. The tide came in, sunk into the sand, and made a footprint. Look at that. No, you automatically assume somebody walked there ahead of you. That's your common sense. And for the Arabs, the ancient Arabs, they put it, in a way, this is before even the Quran was revealed. They said, Al-Ba'ra yadullu ala al-Ba'ir. That camel dung indicates the camel. Meaning you're riding out on the desert, you come across a clump of camel dung, you don't stop and think, how amazing! The sand, rolled itself into a little ball and, some things fell on it or whatever, and here you got a thing looking like a camel dung. No, you assume a camel went by and did his droppings, right? That is common sense. But they want to say, no, maybe the sand did blow it, did roll together, something did fall on it, and that's how it happened, No. We say this is illogical and unreasonable. So, the argument from design indicates really there had to be a designer. And that is, as I said, the most common argument, and you find big scholars even amongst the Christian background scholars, Isaac Newton and others, made these kind of examples to people. In the Quran, though, we do find in one place a purely logical argument that goes beyond the concept of design. It goes into creation itself. We find it in Surah Tur, verses 35 and 36. أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ أَمْ خَلَقُوا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ بَلْ لَا يُقِنُونَ. Were they created from nothing? Or did they create themselves? Or did they create the heavens and the earth? Indeed, they are uncertain. Allah gives them two propositions. He leaves the third as so obvious, He doesn't mention it. Were they created from nothing? Or the Arabic could be by nothing. Were they created from nothing? Common sense tells you nothing cannot produce something. Right? You cannot get something from nothing. No thing cannot produce something. Right? So that's out. Illogical. Or did they create themselves? Are we self-created? Did we create ourselves? Common sense again tells us that we couldn't have created ourselves. Something cannot be self-created, meaning it had to be out of existence, because to be created you had to not exist and then exist. Right? So if you didn't exist, how could you make yourself exist? This is completely illogical. Make sense? If you didn't exist, because to be created, meaning you had to not exist. If you didn't exist, then how could you make yourself exist? Because you're not existing. So common sense tells us we can't be self-created. So what else is left? Something had to create us. Someone had to have created us. That is the only thing left. And not only that, because some people want to ask, but then who created that one? No. The one who created us had to be himself uncreated. Not self-created, but uncreated. Had to be. Because if he is himself created, then the one who created him is the real creator. And if he was himself created, then the one who created him is the actual creator. And some of them say, well, yeah, that's how it is. Just go back infinitely. Created by another one, back into infinity. We say that actually that line of argument, Plato shot it down already, and he argued that if it were the case that the creators go back to infinity, it would mean that it will take an infinite amount of time to get here, to this point in time. And that's the same as saying we would never get here. Once you say that the creators go back to infinity, it means it will take an infinite amount of time from the first of the creators, back in infinity, to get here. It will take an infinite amount of time. Therefore, that's the same as saying we will never get here. Right? So this is where Plato shot down that argument. No, that line of infinite creators is illogical. The only thing that is left is a creator without being himself created. So we don't ask the question, who created God? No. He is himself uncreated. If he is a part of the creation system, then he, like everything else, is in need of a creator. So there had to be a creator who was himself uncreated. Design proves it. Ijma' of the humankind prove it. So what